It's the 10th of December and it's time for the 10th entry in my 24 ghost stories for Christmas. This story is a short story and it's called The Upper Berth, and it's one of my favourites. It's a fantastic story and I'm going to link it down below so that you can read it yourselves. It's by F. Marion Crawford and it was published in 1894. The story, as with most great ghost stories, starts off with the narrator telling you that this happened to a friend of mine, that sort of setup. And it begins with a character called Brisbane, who is sitting at a gathering with his friends and he's smoking a cigar, and although he doesn't seem like the type of guy that would get himself involved in flights of fancy, he turns around to everyone and says, "I saw a ghost once." And he then goes on to tell the story of what happened to him. So Brisbane would quite often go from Britain to New York, and he would make that journey via steamer, because this is obviously before the advent of the aeroplane. On business, he would do this back and forward a couple of times a year. Now at that time, the journey, I would imagine, would have taken a couple of weeks. Brisbane, on one occasion, on a specific ship, was given a very specific room, and any time he told any of the staff on the ship that that's the room he was staying in, they quickly ended the conversation. They skirted around it. They were obviously hiding something. They didn't want to talk about it to him. So eventually people tell him, like, don't stay in that room, find somewhere else to stay on the ship. And Brisbane, again, is the type of person who just does not entertain superstition. So he's like, nonsense, I'm staying here. So he finds out that he's actually sharing the room with a stranger, and he is in the bottom bunk and the stranger's in the upper bunk, or the upper berth. At some point, his cabin mate goes missing, and he is told that other people that have stayed in that room have went missing as well, and that's why people didn't want him to stay there. And it's about how he tries to get to the bottom of this mystery and tries to find out what is in that room, or more precisely, what is coming into that room at certain points. That's as far as I'll go with it. The story's down below. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. What I love about it is it explores the idea of, it expands what is a ghost, what is it, much like that story, What Was It, that I was talking about a few days ago. It explores that and it gives great descriptions of what this thing is, and you're still sort of left, is it ghost, is it a monster, what is it, and I love that. It sort of sets off the old brain and makes you just get involved in all sort of crazy theories about what these things actually are. And there's just a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere to this story on this ship. I love stories which are set on ships. I love the sea anyway. It's a sort of personal love of mine. Not personal love, that sounds like I have a romantic relationship with it, which I don't, but I've sailed, and yeah, I just love the sea. But there is something that is peculiarly eerie about it, and you hear a lot of stories from fishermen and people that spend a lot of time out on the ocean, and there's a great mythos built up around that, and this is part of that, and I just love the story. It's just wonderful, it's fantastic. So I would definitely suggest you go and check it out. This will be in my Ghastly Tales series, but it's a little bit long in terms of doing Ghastly Tales. Like, if I narrated it, it'll probably take me about 15 minutes. I've actually half recorded it already, and I think I'm like 30 minutes in, so it's going to come in at just under an hour, I think, which is long for a Ghastly Tales, But anyway, go and read the story yourself. It's wonderful, fantastic. I can't really say any more about it. Just go check it out, and I'll be back tomorrow with another ghost story for Christmas. I said that like I was on TV. With another. I'll see you all tomorrow.